My name is Olusegun Olarewaju Adebayo. I'm grateful to people who have encouraged me to start this, no matter how imperfect we have started. I give them the credit for starting and sustaining it. I take the blame for all the shortcomings in this project. But we are moving on. We'll talk about this in the future. Today, we shall be discussing anger management. Anger management. It is normal for all of us to get angry at some point. It is human to get angry. But anger don't solve any problem. Rather, it destroys good things. And sometimes you will discover there is no reason or basis for you to get angry. Some of the things you are angry about will be resolved without the anger. Human lives is about problem. When you wake up in the morning and there is no problem, then you should know that there is a problem. And somebody once told me that when you wake up in the morning and there is no problem, then go back to bed. Because as you move on, you will confront so much problem that it will be very difficult to imagine that you started with no problem. What that means is that starting your day always, you must plan for your program. You must envisage things that will go right, but also give room for things to go the other way. It is not every time that things will work well for you. And in most times, even when you have solved all your material problems, there are a myriad of problems that you will face that has nothing to do with money or wealth. It may have to do with your friends. It may have to do with your co-workers. It may have to do with your spouse. It may have to do with your children. It may have to do with your parents. It will have to do with anybody. It may have to do with public officers. Whenever you are maintaining a relationship with people who are close to you, either in the office or at home, give room for disagreement. There will always be time you will disagree so much that you will think you will never be friends again. That is also human. But I tell you what, at the end of your life, nothing is not resolvable. I repeat myself, nothing is not resolvable. Everything that you think is a problem can easily be resolved. And these are the things that will make you to be angry. You have put a benchmark to people, and you have assumed that people will behave your own way. And I will tell you something. No two human beings are the same. Your children will not behave the way you behave. You may have similar traits of characteristics. You may be lucky if twins behave the same way. You'll be lucky if your wife and you think the same way. In the olden days, parents marry for their children, male child, complete stranger they have never met. Sometimes they send to their village, that is those in the urban center, to their father or mother to find them a wife. And they get them a wife. And when they marry such wife, they live happily forever. Today, you have people who have courtship for many years in happiness. And when they marry, it turns to be a problem. And they keep disagreeing nearly every day. You have to give room for things that will make you disagree. In different relationships, there are different things that may make people to disagree with each other. And most times, this thing leads to anger. And sometimes it could be that, it could be very bad. Sometimes it may lead to law enforcement agents coming in. I've seen employers slapping employee. That is illegal. I've seen a father or mother beating their children. That is not normal. I have seen spouses fighting each other physically. That is also not normal. But when people get angry, they can't do anything. Anger don't resolve anything, but rather it spoils many things. So anytime you get angry, what you do is think about the consequences of it. Is it going to be in your interest to keep the anger or to let it go? Think about the implication of what happened. Then when you think about that, walk away from the situation. And once you're angry, keep quiet. Communication can make and unmake many things. Keep quiet and don't say anything that will be used against you. Communicate your opinion with some level of maturity. Maturity does not mean you should be 100 years or 200 years. Then, if nobody is listening to you, engage in something else. You don't have to hamper on that. You don't have to think unless you have your way, things will not go right. No. Then learn to forgive. No matter what happened, expect it to happen. Also maintain a positive attitude to life. That way you won't get angry. Always. Somebody cheated you and you knew and you got unnecessarily angry. Expect it to happen sometimes. Maintain a positive outlook. Avoid situations that will make you angry. If you know some people are fond of making you angry, you don't have to cut off your relationship with them, but manage your relationship with them. Because sometimes when people get angry, it affects their health. It may affect their health badly. In the process of anger, some people could land in the hospital or even pass on. So why do you have to get to that level before you know that it is not good for you? Always think about the effect of anger, which may not be pleasant. I've seen somebody who got angry and broke a huge mirror in his house. I've seen somebody who got angry and broke television. I've seen somebody who got angry and inflicted wound on another person. Apart from the fact that it is not right, it is not legal. Violence is never a solution to anything. And always try to listen to other people's opinion. There is nothing that cannot be resolved. I've said that before. Absolutely nothing. And there is nobody who is indispensable. You are not indispensable. People around you are not indispensable. Life goes on with or without some people. But also know that it is important that people say good things about you. That is the only thing that you have. Your good record is the only thing that will speak for you, always. It is not to say that if you don't get angry, you are an idiot. It is not to say that if you don't get angry, you don't know you're right. No. You check in history how much hunger spoil so many things that are good. And tell yourself always that look, whatever is the situation, I refuse to be provoked. And you'll be amazed the result you will get.